Hello, this is Mandy. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for this morning's Vinyasa flow class. I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't already, I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support. So we'll begin by sitting up nice and tall through the spine, lightly resting your palms on your knees, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. And when you're ready, gently close your eyes. Just feeling your energy begin to settle as you come into the present moment. Temporarily just allowing the outside world, the outside pressures to just gently drop away. Giving yourself this time to fully engage in self-care. Bringing your attention within, connecting with yourself, connecting with your breath, connecting with the sensations in your body. Giving yourself this time for self-care. Bringing your attention to your breath and feeling the inflow and the outflow, the rise and the fall, the expansion and the contraction. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths. Long, slow, deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly. And fully release through the mouth, nice and audible. We'll do that 2 more times. Feeling the belly button being tucked up to the spine as you exhale fully. Returning the body to its natural rhythm. And just continuing to breathe in and out of the nose. Connecting with your breath throughout the practice. Throughout today's practice, you may find your mind wandering, because it will. And when you do, just gently bringing the focus back to the breath. No judgment. Gently bringing chin to chest. And when you're ready, just blinking the eyes gently open. Coming back to neutral. And we'll begin. Let's take the gaze to the right and back to center to the left. And back to center, to the right once again. Back to center and the left. And back to center. Reach the arms up nice and tall, stretching up. Take your gaze up to the sky. And on the exhale, just slightly tent the fingertips on either side of the body. We'll take right ear to right shoulder, reaching up with the right hand and just placing it on your head. Reach those left fingertips towards the earth and really just deepen the stretch. Release the fingers, bringing head back to neutral, and we'll go left ear, left shoulder. Reaching up with the left hand, reaching those right fingertips towards the earth. Continuing to breathe. And release back to neutral. Bringing the arms up. We'll twist, taking the left hand to the right knee. The right hand goes right behind the tailbone, sitting up nice and tall, and just taking a gentle twist. Taking your gaze over the right shoulder. Making sure to ground the sit bones and just taking a twist in the upper body. Releasing head, neck, and shoulders. Reaching up once again. We'll take the right hand to the left knee and the left hand behind. Sit up nice and tall and just taking a gentle twist. Gazing over the left shoulder. Continuing to breathe. And we'll release head, neck, and shoulders. Reaching up and bringing the arms down. Now we'll bring the right palm to the mat, reaching up with the left arm and side bend. And release left palm to the mat, reaching up with the right and coming back up to neutral. We'll make our way to tabletop. Begin warming up the spine. So spreading your fingertips nice and wide and stacking the wrists right below the shoulders. Stacking knees beneath the hips. Having a nice straight back. And we'll begin cats and cows. So dropping the belly. On the inhale, pressing through the palms, reaching the crown towards the sky. And exhale, cat, rounding the spine. Beginning with the tailbone, pressing through the palms, bringing chin to chest. And taking a few more rounds of cat and cow at your own pace. Connecting breath to movement. And coming back to a neutral spine, we'll balance tabletop here. So bringing the right arm out long, palm facing in, and bringing the left leg straight back, like you're pressing your foot up against a wall. Toes point down. See if you can reach up. And we'll round, bringing elbow to knee 3 times. Rounding spine, 3, 2, 1. Bringing right hand back to the mat and left knee. We'll do the opposite side, reaching forward on the left hand, reaching back with the right arm, foot. Reach up and rounding. 3, 2, very good. Bringing the palm down and the knee. We'll bring our big toes to touch and bring our knees out nice and wide, sitting back to extended child's pose. Coming down onto your heels and walking your hands forward, bringing your belly between your knees, the chest, and ultimately the forehead to the mat. Releasing here, just allowing yourself to melt into the pose. One more breath. And we'll thread the needle. Coming up slightly, reaching up with the right arm, and sneaking that right arm under the left shoulder, bringing your right shoulder to the mat, your right cheek, and reaching forward with the left hand. And bring your left hand towards your cheek, pressing up slightly. We'll switch arms, reaching forward with the left, with the right, reaching up on the left, sneaking it beneath the right shoulder, cheek, and shoulder to the mat. And bringing the right hand back towards your cheek, placing both palms on the mat. We'll come up through tabletop and coming into downward dog. Your first downward facing dog of the day. Taking a little time here to take whatever movement feels good in your body. Maybe walk the dog, bending one knee and straightening the other. Maybe finding a little stillness here. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Any weight is being pressed between the pointer finger and the pads of your thumbs, protecting those wrists. And coming up on all 10 toes, feeling the toes grounding into the earth. Feeling all 10 fingertips grounding into the earth. And gently bringing the heels back towards the mat as far as it works in your body this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. Taking a little movement here if that feels good to you, or just finding some stillness. Taking your gaze between your hands, we're going to walk forward between our hands, keeping a generous bend in the knees, coming into ragdoll pose. So allowing your torso to rest on your thighs and allowing your head and neck just to hang naturally. Grasping opposite elbow and opposite hand. Just feeling the opening here. Creating some space in the spine and gently opening.
Continuing long, slow, deep breaths. Maybe taking a little movement here, rocking back and forth if that feels good to you. Maybe coming up a little bit and straightening one knee and bending the other. And dropping the hands behind the ankles for forward fold. And we're going to slowly rise up to mountain. So heel toe the feet together, toes to touch. A little bit of space between the heels. Slowly rising up, pressing those feet into the earth, engaging the thighs, feeling that lift in the kneecaps, engaging the glutes, engaging the core. Taking a roll of the shoulders down away from the ears, palms face forward, fingers reaching towards the earth. The crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Feeling nice and strong in mountain pose. Reaching the arms up to tall mountain, taking the gaze up overhead, and maybe bump the hips forward here and take a slight back bend if that works for you. And coming up, let's take palms to touch and crescent to the right. And back to center and crescent to the left. And back to center. And we'll swan dive down to a forward fold. And rising up to a halfway lift. Nice flat back. The crown of the head is reaching forward. Coming down to a forward fold, planting the hands. Let's step back with the right foot to a runner's lunge. Dropping the right knee to the mat, the top of the right foot, and coming up. Crescent lunge. Bringing the palms together, let's interlace 3 fingers, keeping the pointer finger and the thumb pointed to the sky, arrow mudra. Taking a slight back bend, bumping that hip forward and opening through the right hip flexor. And coming back up, and we'll drop our hands and step up, coming up on your right toes and stepping the left foot back to meet the right in downward dog. From downward dog, we're going to flow through our first vinyasa, coming into plank and slowly lowering down to the mat. Coming into cobra or upward facing dog. Tucking 10 toes and coming back into a downward dog. We'll step our right foot forward into that runner's lunge and dropping the left knee and the left foot and rising up. Palms together, arrow mudra, and taking a slight back bend here. Coming back to neutral, dropping the hands, coming back up on your left toes, and stepping back downward facing dog. Taking your gaze between your hands, step, walk, or float to the front of the mat, forward fold. And rising up, tall mountain. And coming into a forward fold. And rising up to a halfway lift. Planting the hands, step back, high plank. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. And we'll slowly lower all the way down to the mat.
Bringing your palms towards your face and pressing in low cobra and release. Once again and release. And once more and release. Tucking all 10 toes, pressing up, downward dog. And taking the gaze between our hands, let's lift up with the right foot and step our right foot behind our right thumb. Setting up for warrior one, we're going to take our back foot and place it at a 45-degree angle. Feet are hip distance apart and rising up. Nice, strong warrior one. Checking you have a nice 90-degree bend in that front knee, and we're not overextending over the front toes. We want to be able to see those toes. We're going to bring our hands behind our back, interlacing the fingers for a chest expansion. Opening up through the chest, taking the gaze up to the sky. And we'll come into humble warrior. So taking a bend at the hips, hinging forward, and bringing the arms up behind you. And just seeing how far you can go in your body this morning. Ultimately, resting the torso on the right thigh, or even bringing the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee. Allowing the head and neck to hang nice and natural. Continuing to breathe. And slowly rising back up. Releasing the arms up tall. And we'll bring our hands back down to either side of the front foot. Twisting to that back foot to neutral and stepping the right foot back to meet the left in downward dog. Now we'll bring the left leg high, gazing behind your left thumb, stepping your left big toe behind the thumb. 45-degree angle on the back foot and rising up to a nice strong warrior one. Dropping the hands, interlacing the fingers, chest expansion. And coming into humble warrior. And slowly rising back up. Releasing the arms, reaching up tall, and windmilling the hands back down. And stepping the left foot back to meet the right in downward dog. Taking the gaze between the hands. Step, walk, or float to the front of the mat. Look out, Sammy. Forward fold. And rising up. Tall mountain. Palms to chest. And we'll take a moment here and work on tree pose. Do a little balancing. So we're going to put all of our weight into our left foot, feeling nice and grounded, feeling the roots growing, lifting up on your right heel, lifting up on your right knee, and taking the knee out to the side. Now finding your placement here, you can rest the toes on the earth, placing them up against your heel. You can place your foot on your calf or up above the knee, never placing the foot on the knee. Finding a place, a point in front of you, a drishti, to focus your gaze. And when you're ready, you can grow your branches. Shoulders down away from the ears. Maybe bring palms together and hands to heart center. Very nice. And release. And we'll do that on the other side. So placing all your weight into your right foot, feeling the grounding, feeling the roots. Lifting up on the left heel, bringing the left knee up, opening to the side, and finding that placement. And when you're ready, grow your branches. Bringing palms to touch. Start and release. We'll make our way down to the mat. Legs out long in front, pointing the toes towards the sky. Do a nice forward fold, reaching up with the arms, hinging forward at the hips, keeping a nice flat back. And when you go as far as your body wants to go today, just allowing your hands to drop. You can grasp your feet or your ankles and take that stretch a little deeper. And then just allowing the head, neck, and shoulders to hang naturally. Bringing a little rounding into the spine. And taking some breaths here. Slowly walking the hands back towards the body, coming back up to a seat. Now we'll take a bend in the right knee and place the palm or sole of your right foot against your left inner thigh. Reaching up, we're going to do a twist. So we're going to take our left hand over to our right knee. We're going to reach up with that right arm, keeping the arm next to your ear. And we're going to hinge forward, reaching towards the left feet, toes. Just seeing how far you can go in your body. And rising back up. Untwist. And we'll switch feet. So taking the right leg out long, taking the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Reaching up, twisting and placing your right hand on your left knee and bending towards your right toe. Maybe grasping onto your ankle or your foot if that's accessible to you and deepening the stretch. Continuing long, slow, deep breaths. And coming back up, untwist, and we'll bring our soles of our feet to touch for butterfly pose. So just bringing your feet in as close to your body as is comfortable to you, maybe grasping onto your feet, maybe your ankles. Just hinging forward at the hips, keeping a nice straight flat back. Just hinging forward as far as is accessible to you and your body. And then allowing your head and neck to drop nice and natural. Releasing tension in the neck, releasing tension in the shoulders. Continuing to breathe long, slow, deep breaths in and out of the nose. And hinging back up at the waist. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And we'll slowly come back onto your sit bones. And we're going to do boat pose. So reaching the arms forward, lifting up on one foot, then the other. And just balancing here. Engaging your core. Seeing if you can kind of come down to a low boat. And back up. See how you can challenge yourself this morning, this afternoon, or evening. And we'll make our way down to our back, placing the soles of the feet on the mat. And setting up for bridge pose. So walking your feet back towards your glutes, palms face down on the mat. Take a roll of the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing through the feet, pressing through the palms, lifting up on the hips. Holding here, option to take a chest expansion, bringing the palms beneath you, grasping hands together. See if you can lift up a little bit higher through the hips. And release. We'll walk our feet out to the edges of the mat. Look out, Sammy girl. And taking our arms to cactus and just windshield wiper the knees, opening up those hips. Bringing knees to chest, giving yourself a little hug. Maybe rolling back and forth, giving your little back massage.
And bringing the arms out long, we'll bring the knees up to 90 degrees and allowing the knees to just drop off to the right for a supine twist, keeping the shoulder blades on the mat as much as possible. Maybe taking your right hand and laying it on the outside of your left knee and taking your gaze over the left shoulder, deepening the stretch. And releasing your hand, bringing the knees back to neutral. Go to the other side, dropping the knees off to the left, or to the right, placing your left hand on the outside of your right knee and taking the gaze over the right shoulder. And releasing your left hand, bringing the knees back to neutral. We'll bring our feet up, open the knees towards the armpits, and reaching up and grasping ankles, feet, or wrapping your peace fingers around your big toes for happy baby. Opening up and just maybe rocking back and forth, side to side. Preparing for our final resting pose, Shavasana. And releasing the feet and allowing the legs to come out long on the mat, comfortable distance apart, allowing the feet to fall open. Bringing palms down for grounding, palms up for energy, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears, releasing tension in the jaw, and letting go of any control over your breathing, just allowing the body to return to its natural rhythm. Once again, bringing your attention within, feeling your energy settle, letting go of any control over your breath, and just allowing your body to return to its natural rhythm. Gently beginning to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And bring the awareness back into the body. When you're ready, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. And allowing your knees to drop off to one side as you come into fetal pose. Using your arm as a pillow. And taking just a moment here to reflect on today's practice, to reflect on what felt good in your body, making that connection between body, mind, and spirit in the practice of yoga. Cultivating gratitude and appreciation for that connection. And shining that gratitude and appreciation back on your own heart. Appreciation for taking this time for self-care. And when you're ready, carefully pressing through the palms and slowly coming back up to a seat. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this practice has served you as you move throughout your day. May you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.